Not.
It's another edition. We're live.
Yeah, we're live, man.
All right. And
Let's do it live.
Fourth quarter live, as the fourth quarter, for what seemed to be a couple of times throughout the regular season in which we've been doing this, the fourth quarter may not be as active as we would have hoped, meaning, and that's a good thing in this case, because up 20 right now, trying to close the door on a Nets team. And we'll see, as there's 8 minutes left in the third right now. The big question is we need to see if this team can close out a playoff team, something they have really struggled with in the regular season, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 20-point lead. They're on a 21-2 run to start this second half. They've just dominated right out of the locker room in the second half, which is really, great to see, because I'll tell you, as good as the Sixers looked in the first half, and, certain players that didn't look good in game one were playing really well in game two, notably Ben Simmons and J.J. Redick. You still saw a Brooklyn team that was right there. I mean, they were still right there in the game. Even the Sixers still weren't shooting the three ball well in the first half, and they got a lot of offensive rebounds. They got a good effort out of Simmons, who looked really aggressive from the jump, which was really a pleasant sign. And Redick was hitting shots. But you still saw a Brooklyn team that's hanging around, man. They'll hit a three. They'll go on a run where they'll hit like 2 threes, and boom, boom, boom. You're like, man, they're only down 4. It was like kind of that kind of first half.
Oh, look at this. Normally, Harry, you and I wait just a little bit to dive into the chat because people are jumping in with texts, and you can go live with us in the Fan Live button right up there on the top right of your screen, and you can come in on the video chat with Harry and I, as we've had many of people do that.
Oh, Tobias Harris, welcome to the playoffs, Tobias. He hit a three, Eitan.
Well, yeah, and speaking of which, Tim says, hope everyone listened to Shander with the -8.5 today.
Yeah.
I gave you that gift, Harry.
Hey, this game's not over, Chief. Okay,
well,
that score wasn't predicated on the end of the score at the third quarter. Last I heard, this is a 48-minute game. Now I hope you win.
I gave you a 36-minute line.
I hope you win because I didn't take the other side of it. But I'm just going to sit back and watch this.
Well, I gave you both. I gave you this in the parlay with Toronto Tuesday.
You sound like one of these touts, like on a Saturday morning. Early on WIP, PEN, whatever station you want. I gave you this winner last week.
I did.
All right, now for the rest of the season, I'll give it to you for free if I lose.
All I do. That's all I do here. I don't know what you do on Fancred, Harry, but I give out winners.
Yeah, you give out winners. Okay, good.
You can sit there and
you're now a gambling expert.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
It's like fantasy football, People jump in. You don't need a record. Do you know the record of some of these fantasy football experts? Guys are telling you to start somebody in a daily league. Their record is horrendous.
I don't even know their names. How would I know their records?
All right, let's look at the best guy in the business, Brad Evans, right? Yahoo Sports. You know what his record?
Never heard of him.
His record's probably 30%, 40%, and he'll admit it. That's all you need. You hit 40. Listen, I'm not laying any actual money on, as far as a bookie is concerned. I'm just giving winners out.
Hey, listen,
I'm not the
best. The best handicappers in the world are like 57%, 58%.
I know.
Don't give me bullshit of these guys hitting 70, 80% of their games. They're full of shit.
Well, I give one out. That's the thing. I give one. And my one pick of the week is at 80% right now.
Okay, there you go. So there he is. You got an 80% Shander winner. And if he loses the game over the next 18 minutes, he will give you the rest of the playoffs for free.
If you dial that 900 number, if you dial the 900 number and listen to my picks,
that goes right into your Apple Pay, doesn't it?
That's right. Do you remember that? Where you used to call up the gambling line, and it was like $5 per additional minute, and they would take so long to get.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Right. Oh my goodness. Hey, we'll see. We'll see, because there's your boy Boban with those ears.
Hey,
and you can't
Boban's giving him some good minutes tonight.
Yeah, I listen. Boban is not a backup center on a championship team. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, no. Listen to me.
This guy's not.
He's a guy that can give you 10 minutes a game. Is basically what he ought to be able to give you. Now he's being forced into giving you, extended minutes because of Embiid's situation. But he's a guy who can score. I mean, he's got a decent shot. He's got a mid-range game. He's good around the basket.
Harry, they had
rebounds.
Dinwiddie has taken it to the rack 2 straight times on Boban. There's no offensive presence for a guy that big. He's just backing up. He didn't even get off the ground, Harry.
Can take guys off the dribble at his own position. Of course he's going to get by Boban.
I need Boban to get active. I need Boban to get involved, Harry. All right?
Okay. You just don't like – you're anti-cauliflower ear. That's from Serbia. Yeah. You don't like the Serbian cauliflower ear. You're okay with the Israeli cauliflower ear.
But not an international incident.
Exactly right.
I'm okay with the Latvian cauliflower.
Yes. Or the Lithuanian cauliflower ear. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But it's the Boban type of cauliflower. How did nobody give him one of those things that every high school that's the bare necessity that you get.
I know.
And it doesn't matter how defunded your athletic program was in high school. Every high school wrestler got one of those things at the very least. There were times in which you didn't even have matching unitards, but you would have that headset. And he never got a headset?
No, never got a headset.
I got to be honest, Harry. As superficial as I am, I can't cheer a man on with cauliflower ears. I can't do it.
Yeah. I think you're being very judgy here, as they say now. And nowadays, you're being judgy. You need to chill out, because as you sit in Chateau Shander, our studios.
Look, it's right behind me.
Great Maze and Eitan show that airs each weekday noon to 2 on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN app. Behind you is that big poster. And how dare you get judgmental on some other man for when you and I look the way we do, and we are on radio for a goddamn reason.
Well,
I take umbrage with this.
You should, because the man has cauliflower ears. That's my problem. It's not like I have a problem with anything else on him. It's not like I have made some.
I don't want to see anything else on him, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm not interested in anything else.
That's another thing is now you see pictures of him with his shirt off on the beach with his wife or I don't know who the hell. Wife or girlfriend. Yeah, she's incredibly hot, but
yeah, she is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't need to see any more of this.
Good for him.
All right, I'm out. I'm out on this love affair with the backup. That's the problem. People care more about Boban than they do Ben Simmons in this city.
Well, he's a character. He's got a great personality.
What is he, an Avenger? Save him for the movies.
He's got a goofy look that he embraces. He's definitely not, intimidated by or, feels badly about the way he looks. He embraces it. That's what people love around him.
You know who else isn't intimidated? Is anybody taking it to the hole on Boban?
Well, true. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Boban should be an 8 to 10 minute a night guy, ideally. That's it.
Unbelievable, man. I tell you, this game has provided some insight, as this third quarter, Brooklyn has struggled mightily. And it's not often that we've seen this team come out, as Butler now extends it. But this was the quarter that I think we wanted to see after Jimmy Butler hit those shots, especially that shot, that buzzer beater, right, to end the first. Wanted this game to come out in game one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It was terrible.
Yeah, they drew it to 8 in game one on that with that 3-pointer. And we were looking for this type of third quarter out of the Sixers in game one. We didn't get it. But they're getting it tonight. And I really got to give credit to Ben Simmons tonight. I was on him hard after game one, as I think you were and a lot of the Sixers fans were, and rightly so. But he came out tonight with an aggression to his game. And, Reggie Miller kept on describing it while I was listening in the first half as playing downhill. And he's totally right. It's almost like a downhill kind of running back where he's like, look, I'm going to get ahead of steam. Even if it's not really a fast break or a secondary type of break, I'm going to develop a head of steam when I get the ball out by the 3-point line, and I'm going to just head to the rack. And I dare you to stop me. Sort of like the kind of game that we always look for from LeBron James in big spots where nobody could stop him going to the rack.
Sure.
He'd get the ball on the perimeter. It's like, just take it. Just go. Yeah. Nobody could stop you. At the least, you're going to get fouled. You go to the free throw line. He went to the free throw line a couple times tonight in the first half, and it didn't look like he was afraid to go to the free throw line tonight. Now, he was up there. He only took 4 free throws, 2 of 4, but he didn't look like he was afraid with the ball in his hands.
There's a different sign, right? And that's, I think that's the first step, right? Is that what is? And it's crazy that we're at this point.
Yes, but, it is.
Baby steps, man. And we don't expect this team to compete for a championship this year, but that doesn't mean that guys that are core can't do that. And now with a game like this, you start to see a little bit of the DNA in it. And again, there's no reason why you can't have that transfer over. All right, here we go. Anonymous, is there any chance the Nets have a big run of them in this thing? Now, that was a little bit before they cut it somewhat. And, this is going to be the interesting thing here. As
back to 20 now.
Mike Scott makes it to 20, right? And they've already, at 8 minutes, we asked if they can keep him at bay. They cut it a little bit, and then the Sixers extended. That's a big sign. Now, there's over 12 minutes left. There's 15 and a half minutes left. But it's a good sign that first run, that third quarter run that Brooklyn came with, now it's even up by more. They're up 22 now. But that big run that Brooklyn hit them with, the Sixers responded immediately.
Yeah, you're right. And I think what's going to be key down here, the stretch, is ideally, does Embiid play more minutes, more than like 4 minutes the rest of the game? Do they have to bring him back in to start the fourth quarter, Eitan? I get, if Brooklyn closes out this third quarter on some kind of run, you may have to do that. But ideally, I think Brett Brown is looking at sitting him the rest of the game.
Man,
would you agree?
I'm thinking. I honestly don't know what to do because I don't know.
You're up 23 with the ball.
Right, but if this is a conditioning thing, then I don't
know.
I'm going to play him a little bit. I don't know.
He's getting up. Yeah, he's getting up. He's heading to the scorers table.
There you go.
Yeah,
there's your answer right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that this is a sit for the rest of the game scenario. I think if you lose game one, he's out there. If you win game one and you're about to go up 2-0 in a convincing fashion and you're dealing with the same scenario with Embiid, Harry,
I guess.
I'm
all right. Now, did you see early in the game, it was very early in the game, he's playing hard as he always does. He's always trying to get the ball and make the play. He's going out of bounds to try to retrieve the ball. Bangs his knee on a chair.
Yeah.
Did you have any kind of moment there? Because I did.
I don't know what we're going to do. Like, I don't know what you do at that point because this guy's always going to have something around him. I mean, he's a wrestler. There's always a prop around him.
Oh, I'm so glad you said wrestler because and I don't know if Cam, our producer for Fancred, our director, producer, he's our chief, might have been listening to me because I was already on camera before you got on during halftime. And I'm watching some of the highlights from the first half. Charles Barkley and Shaq are going over the highlights with Kenny Smith. And I'm like, you know what? Embiid needs to be in wrestling at some point. So he would be the perfect WWE guy after his NBA days are over, or even, well, not before. But I could see him wanting to be in WrestleMania at some point. Can you see that? With all his dramatic flair for the dramatic?
I could see him going full Gronk.
Totally.
Could definitely see him going full Gronk.
Yeah.
I don't think that – well, it's also a matter of how healthy his knees are going to be when he retires because he's not going to do it while he's still playing, right? Like, you can't go to SummerSlam at the end of the season in the off season, right?
No.
Okay. But you're
Hell no.
right. I definitely see him as a candidate to wrestle.
Oh my God!
Have a mask on. Remember when he had the mask on? We thought that last year.
Yes.
Tim says Boban's about as mobile as a cement chicken.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Jeff wants to know if there's any lineup that makes sense with Boban and Embiid. If a team does have some size, and there isn't really any team in the East. I mean, maybe if you see, like, what would you say? A Gasol, Siakam? Would you? I mean, what front court could you see in which Embiid could slide down and effectively play the 4 and not give up any athleticism out there on the wing consistently on defense?
Gasol, Siakam at the 4, and Embiid guarding him.
Yeah,
and you're putting Boban on Gasol. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I don't like that matchup at all because Marc Gasol might get 30 on Boban.
Yeah, yeah, he might.
That's the thing. Like, the touch from Marc Gasol hasn't gone. He's gotten older. He's not the defender he used to be, but he still has touch around the rim, and that would be the big concern. But, Jeff, it's a good question. Bauer asks, how important is it for the Sixers to get through this series clean and not in 6 or 7 so they're ready for Toronto? My response is them getting ready or being ready for Toronto, that opportunity was missed. That was during the regular season. An extra day or two, is that really going to do much for Joel Embiid and his knee? No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's just a matter of holding on. And listen, this is a big win in the sense of it does, and I'll say this before we even get into the fourth quarter. What this win does tonight is it restores balance. And I think that's the most you can extract from this win. I don't think you go back to saying Sixers can beat Toronto in 6. We talked a little bit about this on our show earlier today on 97.3, Harry, and that's it, by winning, covering the spread, all of that, you return to a sense of balance. It's back to, okay, you're still 1-1. You're technically still down. You've lost home court advantage.
You've lost home court, right.
So I don't know how much better you should be really feeling outside. Okay, they were able to get a win. Like, they're not down 0-2. That's where you start at the most here, right?
I agree. I totally agree with you. And I anticipate Redick just hit another 3. He's been really good tonight. A lot of his shots have been just inside the 3-point line. They look like threes, but they're not. But he's been on fire tonight. I anticipate the Sixers to be like somewhere around a 4, 4.5, 5-point favorite max in Brooklyn for Game 3.
Boy. Let me ask you, and I think it's how much of that will determine on the true margin of victory, meaning before it might turn into free throws or something like that.
Well,
I mean, if they close this thing out, they're up by like 12.
Yeah.
Right? What are we talking about?
I mean, I just look at what has been the history this season and where the numbers have been. You know, maybe I shade it by an extra half a point or something because of, you know, if this ends up being a pretty significant double-digit victory. But I don't see much more than 5. If you see more than 5, I think that's beat down for the Sixers. I think 5 is a pretty good number.
I don't think I would take anything higher than 5, to be honest with you.
Right.
I wouldn't take Sixers -7 going into Brooklyn Game 3. I can't trust. Boy, I tell you, man, 2 back-to-back big covers like that.
Yeah.
After losing Game 1, would you trust the Sixers in a scenario?
No, I don't.
-7
I don't
or above. Would you take it
right now?
You don't trust it at all. Yeah,
I don't.
And I think that's something that we can ask you all out there. And I know
in a big 3.
We'll continue this chat. And if you want to pop in that live button that you can go, fan live button at the top right of your screen, so you can pop on your video chat with Harry and I and make fun of my cauliflower ears or something about Harry as well. Here's what I would say is how much trust has been restored in this Sixers team based on, so far, a very convincing 3 quarters against Brooklyn. They're going to win this basketball game. They're not going to lose this. Brooklyn has done their job. Brooklyn is just trying to get out. at this point and go back home. They've done what they needed to do, and that's win game 1 or 2 in Philadelphia. But honestly, how much trust has truly been restored? And let us know in the chat box or the fan live with this team. You say you don't trust them at all. So the needle hasn't even moved in the slightest after something like this.
I still don't have any trust with them. I really don't. You know, I kind of equate them with the way that I went through the college basketball season with Temple. Like whenever they were favored by 6, 7, 8 points at home, I'm like, oh, I don't trust that they can cover that. You know, they're probably going to have to squeak out a win. But a lot of times they did. It's like I just can't trust them, you know, in that heavy favorite role. Now, if they're, you know, around the 4 to 5 point margin, I kind of like that in Brooklyn. But anything like you said, anything higher, I'd be a little leery of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree.
And now they're up 27 right now. I mean, this is a beatdown, and we're not even into the fourth quarter yet.
All right, now I think if you're talking about now, this is interesting. This is interesting because if you look at this, Embiid sitting, I think, is predicated on his health over conditioning.
Yeah,
we know he's got a knee problem. We know he's got tendonitis. How much of this now is like, all right, let's sit him. You're up 30. Like I think at this point you're right. Where I would think I would sit him significant minutes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would sit him. I really would. I'd even send him back to the locker room. Remember how they did that in the second quarter in game 1, where he walked back into the dressing room, and you're kind of like, what's going on? Is he like severely hurt? And then they had Cassidy Hubbard come on and say that this was a planned thing, that with 5 or 6 minutes left in the first half, he was going to go early into the dressing room to get started on treatment with his knee. Like I would just send him back there and be done with it.
I agree, man. I think that you make that decision no matter. Now, listen, what's going to happen? They're going to cut the lead from 30 to 18. So,
yeah,
okay, big deal. Joel Embiid, at this point, when you're up 116-87 after 3, and you're dealing with a guy who was a game-time decision heading into this tip, I don't know what the argument is to have him out on the floor for the final 12 minutes. Like, what am I missing here? What would be the argument at this point when you're up 30-something to play him in the final 12 minutes when the guy was a game-time decision 2 straight games?
Yeah, and he's been fantastic tonight. He's played 20 minutes, 23 points on 12 shots, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. We love when he goes to the free throw line. He's a plus 26 Aton. 10 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. Now, this is really interesting because this is interesting.
It is.
He has 1 turnover, and he has 0 3-point shot attempts. How about that? How about that? I sound like Stugatz.
Well,
this is the Dan Lebitard show with the Stugatz.
Yeah, I can't believe that guy. People tune in for 0. Remember, Gil was telling us that people tune in for Stugatz. Trying to sell Stugatz to us.
I think Gil does. I think that's what he was really trying to tell us. But 0 3-point attempts.
Yeah, the biggest opening, the biggest hole that this team had was just be aggressive down low. We saw the matchup, and we saw the ability for the Sixers to exploit that. We didn't know why they weren't doing it in game 1. So this is not a recipe like moving forward. I don't want to see Embiid not take any threes, but when you open, it's almost like the three-pointer is a luxury because you were able to take full advantage of out-physicaling or being out more physical, I would say, out-muscling the Nets down low. That would be the big
one. Yeah, when you have Jared Allen, who's a nice shot blocker, but he's not going to be any kind of physical threat against an Embiid, and you got the guy from Boston College is out tonight. Their back Dudley. Their other backup 5, who's kind of an undersized 5. They got nothing down low, this team.
No.
To be honest with you, I mean, that first game where you started to see Embiid just float around the 3-point line, I'm like, what in the world are you doing here? Well, like, that is not the method of attack against a team like the Nets.
Seriously, and that's where I think is where my excitement or enthusiasm is curbed or tempered a little bit is that I look at what they're able to do tonight, and I don't have an answer for the simple question of why couldn't they do that game one?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they up 2-0 right now? Why don't they go to Brooklyn with the opportunity to sweep this team? And we really are talking about, okay, and listen, if they win in 5 and those 4 games are in convincing manner, which I don't think they will be, then you and I will be doing more games here, turn around, and I'll admit I was wrong. But as it stands right now, yes, they did a lot to restore trust, maybe restore balance. But at the same time, I'm thinking, what the hell was the problem in game one?
Right. Now, to me, it's 11:33 left, and Embiid's still on the court, and they're up 29. Now, you just had a situation here where, he's down low trying to defend, and he goes down. He gives you the drama thing where it looks like his knee's buckled. I just get him off the court. I don't need to – now finally he's on the bench. Now maybe this is it. Now he's grimacing, grabbing his ankle. There's always something going on here with this guy.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Boban! Ba-boom! Yeah. He put that right in your cauliflower ear, Eitan.
Here we go. Be up 50, and then Boban comes alive. Was that the strategy? Was that the strategy going into this?
Hey, I got news for you. Boban has been alive. He's got he had 14 points at halftime.
Here we go. Jared, they are engaged and need this level of engagement going forward. Don't trust that as it's a one-and-done talent team. Jorge, poor leadership and players not willing to follow. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens after this game because there's an opportunity to make a big statement in Game 3 where you can come out and take Brooklyn's crowd out of it, take that squad out of it because that mismatch is not going away, right? Their ability to exploit Brooklyn down low is not going to go away when you change venues.
No, you're not going to be able to change rosters.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Right. So now, Game 3, do they get – because they kind of got screwed here where they only had one-day rest between games 1 and 2. Some teams like Toronto had 2 games. The Sixers get back at it on Thursday night.
Right. Now, do we know our next game?
I'm not sure yet.
We have to ask the mothership.
Yeah, but it's 8 o'clock in Brooklyn on Thursday night is Game 3.
Correct. Now, Thursday, I'm supposed to be – you and I have a sales meeting, and then I'm supposed to be at Topgolf. So I have to make sure that if Thursday's our night, I can move our schedules around, and we can make Fancred.
We have a sales meeting?
Yeah, after the show.
Really?
Car dealership. So you better dress nice.
Wow.
All right?
I didn't know about this meeting.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll be going over the schedule tomorrow. Fans, make sure you check the Fancred app for the next announcement, as we'll let you know which game we'll be taking over and allowing you to interact. And hopefully it's this. Hopefully we see a blowout because I feel like it's been a while since we've had a convincing game. Last time we did it was that Bucks game, I think, to end the regular season, right?
Yeah, I think so. I forget, but Game 4 would be Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
That's right. So it's going to be one of those two, I imagine, as we'll let you know. And again, just pay attention. You're on the Fancred app. You're doing the right thing, participating, chatting. You can go live with us, top right corner of your screen. That's how we'll announce the next game, either Game 3 or 4, depending on which one that we decide based on the schedule. And beyond that, before we even get to Game 3, with Embiid on the bench, this team up. I mean, at what point are you pulling starters? At what point is Ben Simmons on the floor off? Is what for the rest of the game, right?
Tobias Harris is coming off.
There you go.
He got off to a really bad start. It was almost like he didn't even realize the playoffs had begun. Game 1, he did nothing. Game 2, the first half, he was pretty much a no-show. He came alive a little bit here. I'm going to give you his numbers. Harris had 19 points. He ended up with 19 points. Went to the free throw line 7 times, hit them all. and was a plus 31. So he ended up having a good game with 5 rebounds.
Okay. That's not terrible. Are you okay
No.
with that? You accept that? You go with
Yeah,
that?
I'm okay with that. 5 of 12. He was 2 for 4 from 3.
Yep.
He, got to the free throw line. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you good with Cesar Hernandez giving up the lead?
Cesar Hernandez?
Yeah. Just curious.
No.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Well, we're getting hit on that now. People are hitting us up on Twitter with that too. I was checking mentions as we go.
With the Phillies?
Yeah, to retweet that we're on Fancred, and I saw a couple of people mention, of course, that because I was talking about Embiid and
that was a while ago. That was a couple of innings ago. It's 6-5 Mets in the 8th.
Correct. That was the eventual go ahead.
Yeah, Jerice Familia is on the hill for now for the Mets.
La Familia.
No, that's
right?
A nice restaurant.
That's what they call him.
Oh yeah, is that what they call him?
That's his nickname.
Really?
Where are you on this stuff? The Mets disappeared for 5 years.
Care about the Mets nicknames.
I thought you'd be all over that.
The only one that I know is Thor, and he was on the hill tonight. That's the only nickname I know.
Don't they call Bruno in certain parts of this country La Familia?
No, not that I know of. Parts of the country I haven't been to.
Idaho? He's Des Moines?
I've been to Idaho.
Oh, yeah? Where have you been? You've been to Boise? Where else would you have been in Idaho?
Sun Valley.
What the hell is in Sun Valley, Idaho, that you were there? Some music festival?
It was actually a ski resort.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How high up does the mountain go?
I don't know.
Crested, Montana?
What?
You ever been to Montana?
Crested Butte. I've been to Butte, Montana, and Bozeman, Montana.
I have as well. Bozeman, Montana is something else, man.
Bozeman is where Montana State University is. Yeah.
So how long ago was it that you were in Bozeman? For me, it was probably 30 years ago.
I'm going to say it was in the 82, 81, 82 time frame.
Okay, perfect. So you were there before me.
Yeah.
Probably maybe 10 years before me. Okay. When I went to Bozeman, it reminded me of – there are a couple of movies that I don't remember the title that come to mind where the Russians would build this town in Russia that's supposed to mimic America to train Russians to blend in with America so that when
and influence elections.
Well, eventually, 30 years later, influence elections. But back then, it was to take over America, they would train in Russia with these Americanized built homes.
And that movie called Red?
Well, there's Red Dawn.
Oh, Red Dawn. That's what I meant. I meant.
The Experts. Thank you.
Okay. But not the Sexperts.
No,
I remember Sexperts.
Not that, or the sex tournament that Auburn was close to winning. Not that either. The Experts with John Travolta. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And that's what Bozeman reminded me of.
Yeah.
Was the Russians or the Chinese or some superpower the Saudis created this town that was supposed to look like America. And walking around, and it was just where are we right now in this country? And listen, there's some things to do. Don't get me wrong, but I was blown away by it.
It's beautiful out there, man.
Yes.
I mean, I'm watching Boban and T.J. McConnell in this game. This is and we got we got Furkan Korkmaz on the court, Eitan.
Yeah, now you're going to get the Korkmaz people out there saying how much extra time he needs now in game 3, and I can't, man. I can't take it. The overreaction to a 30-point victory after you lose game 1 is coming, and I'm going to weather the storm. I'm here for it. You and I have been doing this long enough. I know what's in front of us tomorrow, but there has to be some sense of balance. You and I, to be fair, were balanced today after they lost. I think that there has to be some sense of balance after feel great. Yes, you should feel good that they've won, and you should feel happy and, pound your chest a little bit that it was a blowout. But I think at that point is where I would slow down and say, how much more do you want to take this? That they're going to win the next 3 and blow this team out? I can't get there right now.
Yeah, I'm not there right now either. But I feel a hell of a lot better, man. I'll tell you what. I mean, the fact that Ben came out with aggression tonight. I don't want to sit here and say that it was all because of the reception that he got late in game 1. But I'll tell you what, I think it had something to do with it. I think, I don't know that has a lasting effect with him, but I think that had some effect on the way he came out tonight in game 2. Now, he was embarrassed. The fans, let him know that he was embarrassed. And it was like kind of maybe a wake-up call for the guy. Now, we'll see if that transpires, games 3, 4, and 5, if he comes out with that aggressive mindset. But it was really apparent tonight.
I think that's probably the biggest on-the-floor takeaway is the difference in Ben Simmons' game. I don't know if the knee is a concern, what happened with Embiid banging it right there, but, at this point.
Well, we're at the celebrity camera shots now in the game. Evidently, M. Night Shyamalan is sitting next to Zach Ertz on the court. That's all we've got. We need more celebrities at these playoffs.
Would you show your face after game 1?
Well, when they're up 30, yeah.
Now? Okay, now
you
show your face.
Well, that's when they're showing them.
M. Night, my goodness, man.
What
type of surprise ending do you think you would have here?
Yeah, I know. M. Night's he's not on a good run.
Well, it's this insistence on this fake comic book world that he's trying to create. And now, prequels, he's better than that. He's better than prequels. He's better than that, than trying to make a series out of something.
Is he better? I don't know.
I think the guy is talent. I don't know what the hell happened to him, man. Like, what would you say is the sport equivalent? He did have a little bit of a comeback, but that was the thing. Like, the comeback in its own right was squandered for me when he tried to make the prequel or whatever the hell the latest one is, Glass, off of Split. Just make Split its own movie and move on and get back to writing good stuff. But that whole idea of, hey, I have a golden goose, let me milk the crap out of it before I kill it. I don't get it.
I saw The Sixth Sense, and then what was the one after that with
Signs? With
what?
Bruce Willis?
No. The second one wasn't Signs. The second one was the breaking the glass thing. It was one of those.
Unbreakable.
Yes, Unbreakable. That's what it was.
Good movie.
I saw that.
Really good movie. And a really good concept. And it was an individual, unique concept. And it was a great twist at the end where Samuel was setting
Samuel Jackson.
And like at that point, let it breathe and stand alone. You don't need to try to duplicate and repurpose and repackage the same bottle of wine. Like, let that sucker breathe. I tell you, Signs is probably I know Sixth Sense everybody goes to because it brought him to that scene. But Signs is probably his best movie. If you really look at the concept, if you look at how it was shot, there are some scenes in the cornfield.
Is that the one where they had those crop things?
Yes, with Mel Gibson. Think about it. It was a crazy good cast with Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Great. There was some really good light moments, comedic moments.
They did a lot of it up in Bucks County, I think. They filmed a lot of that up in Bucks County.
I tell you, it's some of the most intense cinematography is where they shoot those scenes in the cornfield. And then the best part about it is you don't really get a glimpse. There's this one little scene where they're watching the news and you get the first glimpse of the alien. And it's like a shot. It's like a wide shot of a news camera and the thing's like lurking behind a building. And just how the presentation of that, where it wasn't like an overt Independence Day, 50 million aliens invading this planet. It was like you saw it like a human. I don't know, man. That was my best. I
love that movie.
Well, everything else fell off, and that was the problem.
I'm kind of out on signs, to be honest with you. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. When Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix are in a flick, I expected to be better. I thought it was a little weak.
What the hell are you talking about? How was it weak?
It was just weak. It didn't hit me. It didn't move me.
Come on, just be honest. You didn't see the movie.
I saw it. Dude, I saw it. I'm telling you about that, where they shot the movie.
Yeah, well, you can Google that. Anybody can Google that.
Oh, yeah, Google. You think everybody's just Googling stuff.
I saw you on your phone right now. I saw you on your phone. What were you doing? Looking up the Ronald Acuna contract? I mean, come on.
No. I was looking at a text from our former program director, who's out at the Golden State Warriors game, which is getting ready to tip momentarily. And he's got a picture of Marv Albert. He's up close and personal with Marv Albert. And he says, yes, and it counts.
Well, why don't you tell him to get Marv on my national show tonight? You know, I could use an extra guest.
I don't care about your national show.
Well, he should. Pick it up. What the hell is he running out there?
I don't know.
Are they live and local overnight? Ask him. Ask him.
Kid, you contact him.
Why don't you text him and ask him what they're running overnight? Say,
I'll ask him right now.
Say, why don't you pick Shanders overnight? Over there, it's what? I'm on 1 to 6 Eastern time, so 10 to 3, man. The hell is he running 10 to 3 a.m.?
I'm asking him right now.
I mean,
can you just shut up for a second?
Well, hurry up. How hard is it to text?
It's hard.
They're up 131 to 103.
Yeah, this game's over.
And they're going to.
I said, why don't you carry Shanders' night show? I just sent him the text. Now we'll see what he says.
Will you put the phone up so everybody can see the response?
I'll show it to you.
Let's see if those bubbles are.
Why don't you carry Shanders' night show?
Well, you got to give him some context. Tell him that you're here with me doing Fancred Sixers.
He knows I'm here with you. He knows I spend every stinking weekday with you.
I make you money. That's why.
That's fine. But he knows that.
I don't even get a cut. I don't even take a percentage. I should be getting juice off the money I make you. Oh, man. Oh, shoot. You know what? Next time we do this, here's a quick announcement for everybody who's still paying attention and hanging out with us. Harry and I are going to be at Xfinity Live noon 2 on Wednesday live. We'll have some things we'll give out. I have these cards. I'll have it for the next Fancred because I'll just put it up right there. It's these QR codes where anybody can just download the app as well, and you can do it with Fancred. Right.
Now, explain the QR code to some people that might not be familiar with it.
Listen, my mom knows what a QR code is, okay?
But your mom is a very intelligent human.
That's different than tech savvy. You know a lot of intelligent people that are not tech savvy. My mom is still on AOL email, okay? And she knows what a QR code is. So
okay.
All you need to do is take your phone, put it on camera, and put it right in front of a QR code, and a website or a link or whatever it's attached to will pop up on your phone and direct you there. It's that easy.
Okay. All right.
Now,
okay.
I'm just saying. That's all.
Now, I don't see any cell phones on the Sixers bench tonight.
Did you see Amir on the Sixers bench?
I did not see him either.
I don't know.
But now we got I think we got smoothies for the crowd tonight because the Nets player missed 2 straight free throws. So everybody's excited.
Would you take on? Are you pro smoothie at that point? Would you take it?
I like this. I like the Wendy's products.
Yeah, you're more of a Wendy's guy than.
No, I'm McDonald's first, then Wendy's second.
Well, what about McDonald's is why you're first?
Well, the McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese and the double quarter pounder with cheese are, to me, the greatest burgers that are in fast food. But I'm not a West Coast guy, so I've never experienced In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, man.
I've heard they're great. I know the Five Guys are great, but they're a little too just too much for me.
I think Five Guys actually is really good.
They're good.
Whataburger is good. In-N-Out is amazing. Fat Burger
The
good.
Smash Burger isn't bad either. Have you ever had the Smash Burger?
I have had the Smash Burger. I'm a fan.
There's one over here in Radnor, and I had one in Houston. Is where I had it.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, we have updated odds here to win the championship. Warriors are 5-1, right? Bucks 5-1. Oh, 5.5. Right? Rockets 8-1, Celtics 15-1, Raptors 18-1, Sixers 40-1.
Why are you asking me right? You act like I'm
looking at this as well. The chat. Are you not privy to this information?
I don't have the chat.
You don't?
No.
Well,
my chat. Oh, now it comes up. Boom! There it goes.
Eastern Conference. Bucks are 5-6. 5-6. Raptors are 3-1. Celtics 7-2. Sixers
6-1.
Would you take the Sixers 6-1 right now after this game?
No. You're just throwing money away. They're not winning the Eastern Conference. It's not happening.
I wonder what the odds are for them to make it to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
they'd probably be. They'd be better than 6-1.
I would probably not do it. I want winners.
If I gave you 6-1 odds, so those same odds, if I gave you 6-1 just to make it to the Eastern Conference after this game, would you take it?
Probably not. No, they're not making it. They're not getting past Toronto.
I don't know what they could do, man. I don't know what they could do. If there's anything that this Sixers team could do in the next 3 games to convince people that they could beat Toronto.
What would it be? For Embiid's knee to be suddenly rebuilt? Now, that would give me some hope. Because, I mean, Ben Simmons isn't all of a sudden going to discover a 15, 20-foot jump shot. But Joel Embiid's knee to all of a sudden be like, oh, his knee feels great. That might do something for me.
I think you're right. That could definitely help.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing you look at is his knee itself and his health. But there's nothing on the floor, right, that you can really look at.
No. I mean, their bench, you talk about Toronto. Toronto's always had a team, and this is way before they even got Kawhi, is a team that goes 9-10 deep. I mean, they got good players, and they got a second unit. This Siakam kid is a guy nobody even knew about.
No, he's going to give that
player.
He's going to give that 4 some fits unless they put bet on him. So I don't know what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think what did he go to New Mexico State? Like nobody even knew about this guy in college basketball. Like unless you were like a real insider kind of guy, you didn't even know about him. And all of a sudden, he becomes a really, really good NBA player.
I agree. That's a lot of fun to watch him grow up there in Toronto because, to be honest with you, Toronto has just been associated with playoff misery and failure after high expectations set by the regular season. So with Kawhi there, Siakam growing, it's going to be interesting. And we all expect them to make it, right, out of the Eastern Conference. So it's almost like Milwaukee's not even going to be tested in this first round.
No, not with
not mine. No. Blake Blake, not Sansa Stark.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. I rewatched the episode today.
Yeah, and hopefully you're feeling like me, which is more of a 6 out of 10. You were jacked up on the episode. I tried to bring you down a little bit.
You are such a liar. Now, why do you lie to the people like this? You and I were in complete agreement that it was like a 6 out of 10 episode. Why do you insist on doing this nonsense? You're unbelievable.
I forgot. So let me ask you. I've got odds here. Who's the first person to die? mean, they're like 20 people. This is the problem with the show. I'm counting it right now. You tell me who you think the first person is to die, and I'm going to count all of the people that are relevant enough to actually have odds as far as who they can die.
All right, I'll tell you. It's going to be one of those Greyjoys. It's going to be one of the Greyjoys. Give me the Greyjoy.
There are 22 people that are on this list. And
give me the Greyjoy.
All 22 people, and not one person that I mentioned would be somebody that isn't a main character. Like, you can't have 22 main characters in a show and expect to develop anybody. It's impossible.
Yeah, I'm with you. Phillies just tied it up 6-6, bases loaded, bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Well, now they just popped out. So it's 6-6, bottom of the 8th.
I'm making the switch on TV. I don't know about you. What is that?
What is that noise?
What is that noise?
That's got to be from you.
I think it was.
Yeah, I know it was.
It sounded like something out of Looney Tunes, didn't it?
The Looney Tunes.
The hell was that? So you think it's going to be here's the problem, and this is the biggest issue, is that the Greyjoys, as much as I hate every single one of them, and they waste my screen time every single time, their island is probably going to be integral to something because they keep referencing how.
Well, yeah, they set that up in this episode.
Right. The White Walkers can't cross water, and that's going to be something. I imagine that they'll be battle. Like, they're going to lose Winterfell. Winterfell's done. Like, there's
he's going to need that island, so they want to utilize that as a way to, to gain power.
Correct.
Yeah. But maybe they could all take a bath or a shower between now and the next episode. They are the grimiest, dirtiest, filthiest, stinkiest group of family I've ever seen.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of filthy people.
All right. Now, as far as them pulling the dragon out, it's a good point. White Walkers can't go in the water, but they had no problem pulling that dead dragon out of the lake.
Right.
None of them went in, though, right? Like, they used that apparatus to drag it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how the writers were expecting to get around that, but.
Well, this is like an ABA game, 142 to 120 here.
Listen,
man.
I have moved on to baseball in the background, and this game, as far as the game.
Monroe bangs a 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Greg Monroe is playing minutes at this point. Furkan Korkmaz and Greg Monroe playing minutes, to me, is a sign to say, okay, we've reached that point in the broadcast, folks.
If you had the Brooklyn Nets plus 24, you won.
Can you
hit a 3?
What would you have to do to tease that? How much would you have to pull to get the Nets at plus 24 tonight?
No. Robinson Cano step into the dish tonight.
There you go.
Mets.
You talk about a fall from, I don't know, grace or just fall. A lot different in New York than the first time around, huh, Harry?
Yeah, no question about it. I remember when this guy came up in, like, I want to say 04. I think it was 04 with the Yankees, and he was the stud to be.
There was a lot of talk, right? Because A-Rod and everything else that was soon to come from that. There was a lot of talk about him just being historic and having some major talent.
I remember talking to Ken Davidoff of the Newsday about Robinson Cano. I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. I said Kano, and he goes, it's either Kano or Cano.
Robinson.
Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day, too.
That's right. Everybody on 4-2.
Yeah.
Man, we'll see. Bullpen now charged with getting out of this. I'll tell you what, the big takeaway from tonight in this baseball game is this was like something out of Game of Thrones where, and I'm going to, here's a preview of what's going to be said tomorrow at 5:45 and 7:45 a.m. on Fox 29, Harry.
Oh, my God. Set your clocks. Set your alarm clocks.
Hey, I don't know what you're doing tonight, Harry, but I'm going to be on the air from 1 to 4, TV 5:45, 7:45, and I'll be the one fired out of the cannon at noon, ready to go.
I got a message back from our program director.
We have Fox.
It says, we have Fox. Can't get out of it right now. What time is he on?
I'm on 1 to 6 a Eastern. Technically, I'm on 1 to 6 a Eastern.
Yeah, but it's not all live.
He can take as many hours as he wants of my show. And yes, it is. We tell people it's all live, okay?
Well, yeah, you're lying.
Well,
1 to 6 a Eastern.
1 to 6
3
a.
hours. Yeah, 3 hours of replay.
We're on EEI in Boston. I'm on the Ticket in Dallas.
Yeah. He doesn't care about that.
Well, he should. There's some big stations.
All right, I just sent him a message. Okay.
Awesome. I love it. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is networking. This is how teamwork works out there, folks.
Business is getting done here.
That's right. All right, we got about 4 minutes left of this broadcast, Sixers fourth quarter live. Just a quick reminder, pay attention to the app, Fancred app. That will tell you, we'll send an announcement out through the app about when we'll be on. We'll tweet it as well, at Harry Mays to you, at Shander Show, but make sure you're paying attention to the app. And also, I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier in the day, but since it's a blowout and we've already moved on from this game here, I've got breaking news in the Shander household.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Is this about a dog?
It is.
Oh, God, I know this.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, the Hound. The Hound. You talk about the Hound of Game of Thrones. The Hound is coming to your house.
The Hound is back. Looks exactly like the other one. It's amazing.
Well, you had two of them before.
I had two. Now, I'm only going to have one this time, and the damn thing is 90 pounds, Harry.
Holy crap. Now, is this going to be present during our show?
Well, what I was thinking of is, you see how we have this space right here? Like, there's Harry's seat.
Yeah.
That's where Harry sits, and this is where I sit right here. And we have this in-between thing here. Now, the dog could, lay. I have comfortable, cool leather. So the dog could lay right here in the middle, and then as we're on the stream, Harry's over here. Harry's over here. I'm here, and then the dog is right here.
It would look like that big Marmaduke, blue tick hound on Hee Haw, where it would sit on the porch. When I was a kid, I'd be watching fucking Hee Haw, and they'd have this big blue tick hound sitting there. It was great.
No live stream of a sports talk show is going to have a fucking Weimaraner.
No, they're not. Nobody's going to have a Weimaraner.
No. In their own right. And then this thing just sitting there, this big 90-pound beast. And, they don't move. You just pet them, and they'll sit there for hours. Right. Just be ready, Harry, all right?
I like that. Just be
ready, okay?
I'm a big fan of the dogs. I'm a big fan of the Weimaraners. And the dog will be a big fan of me.
Oh, I bet. Well, there's enough room over there where he could just lay on you.
Right. True. Yeah.
He'll probably do that. He'll probably just want to sit there and get pet the whole time.
As long as it doesn't expose its ball. Is it a male?
Yeah, it's a male, but I'm going to have to neuter it when he gets up here.
You're going to have to neuter? I'm going to neuter the Weimaraner. Can you imagine him saying Weimaraner?
No.
Mad Dog?
No,
Holy.
I don't even know what the equivalent would be. Wine,
Weimaraner.
And I had a wine runner. Let me tell you, I had a wine runner.
A wine runner?
A wine runner. Oh, my God. Nothing beats vanilla envelope. Nothing. No. I thought R.G. Griffin was up there. No, R.G. Griffin.
R.G. Griffin. Yeah. All right, so a win for the Sixers, 1-1, heading to Brooklyn for Thursday night.
Absolutely. Now we just did the show. We just did the first hour of Mays and Eitan tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
great. So if you can't tune in, you just go back and redo the Fancred app. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And keep an eye on the Fancred app. We'll let you know. Again, follow Harry at Harry Mays to you, me at Shander Show. We got a bunch of stuff going on. The Derailed podcast is up, iTunes, all the Google platforms. Our Mays and Eitan show, noon to 2. SB Nation for me. When's the next Mays cast coming out?
Probably in 2020.
Yeah, I took the under on 6 episodes. Did it hit?
It's right at 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even do a Masters podcast because I figure everything that has been said about Tiger has already been said. Why should I do another one?
I love it, man. I love it. You are perfectly in your lane with the amount of outlets you comfortably need. When's the next column for the Metro coming out?
I don't even know. I gotta look for probably Thursday.
Okay. All right. We'll keep an eye on all of that. All right. For Harry Mays, I'm Eitan Shander. Thanks to everyone at Fancred. It's another great edition of Sixers Fourth Quarter Live. Keep an eye on the app, and we'll tell you when we're back, game 3 or 4. It's a Thursday or Saturday. We'll let you know. Thanks again for hanging with us. At Shander Show, at Harry Mays to you. For Harry, I'm Eitan. See you.